Okay, this is my second speech, and the only person in the room is my sister, who is going to be recording me. And now I'm going to go into showing you my note cards. This is my very first note card. The back of it. My second note card. The back of it. My third note card. And my 2 citations. And the back of that. And then my fourth and final note card. And the back of that. Okay, now I'll be going right into my speech. Imagine it being a Sunday morning, you wake up and you fix yourself a delicious breakfast. You sit at a table, you eat your eggs, your bacon, your biscuit, and a morning cup of coffee. Then all of a sudden, bam, someone breaks into your house. You notice that it's the stalker who's been stalking you. He comes into your house, he kidnaps you, he tortures you, and then kills you. This guy is Carl Watts. Today I'll be telling you about Carl Watts' early life, his killings, and his life in prison. As you can tell, Carl Watts had a sick mind, and this all started in his early childhood. Carl Watts came from a broken home. He started off as any normal child. His parents got divorced, and this was difficult for him. His dad was in the army, and he left him at the age of 2. He stayed with his mom, and his mom raised him. Eventually, his mom moved on and married another guy. This guy had 6 kids of his own. Later, they had 2 daughters. This led to Carl not getting much attention. Carl also didn't get much attention because he didn't stand out compared to the other kids. This led to him keeping all of his emotions inside and being very angry. Carl had his own way of letting his emotions out. Carl loved sports, and sports was his way of letting all his anger out. Carl was great at football and hunting. He got a football scholarship at Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee. He liked to hunt rabbits, skin them, and kill them. I got all this information from murderpedia.org. Later in life, Carl Watts was diagnosed with meningitis. This led to him having high fevers and also led to a learning disability. Since he was so sick and he missed a lot of school, he missed several months. When he returned to school, he couldn't keep up, and that led to him having to repeat the 8th grade. He was very embarrassed. I got all that information from www.thought.com. Doctors discovered that Carl Watts had an IQ in the low 70s. This led to a mild case of retardation. This also led to him not doing good in school. He was poor in school due to this and didn't have the greatest grades. He also eventually graduated high school. Since he had a football scholarship, 3 months into it, he was expelled for being accused of torture, of attacking a woman. Carl Watts would fantasize about torturing and killing girls. It was said that at the age of 15, he killed his first victim. He became a serial killer in his 20s in 1974. He would kidnap his victims, torture them, and then kill them. He committed a very brutal murder, and this girl was Gloria Steele, and she was in her 20s. She was known to be his second victim. He would kill his victims anywhere between the age of 14 to 44. He wasn't discovered to be a serial killer until 8 years later in his life. He was finally questioned about the murders, and then they didn't have enough evidence, so this led to him getting away with that. A couple years later, he finally admitted that he killed 40 women, and there was about 80 more cases. He had a serial killer name, and this was the Sunday morning slasher. He was sentenced to 60 years in life, but due to this, no one told him that a bathtub and water was used as a deadly weapon to drown people, and that made him eligible to be out early. Mike Cox was not happy about this, and he went on national TV and asked anyone who had any information about Carl Watts to come forward so he couldn't get out early. Carl Watts was later trial for the Steele case, and he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Later, he got prostate cancer and died in a hospital. In conclusion, I really hope that you have learned more about Carl Watts, his early life, his killings, and his life in prison. He had a tough life, but there's no excuse for what he did. What he did was widespread and changed many things in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do not kill and torture and stalk people. Thank you for listening to me today.